The first one is tip number 3, that we can't change or fix anyone else, so stop trying. In fact, if you give me the book, for each tip I have a quote from somebody else. They're not my quotes, they're somebody else's quote. And this one is my favorite. This quote is from Robert Heinlein, who wrote, science fiction writer. He wrote Stranger in a Strange Land. I always felt like I was a stranger in a strange land. And his quote for tip number 3 is, you cannot control or fix another person, so stop trying. And his quote is, never try to teach a pig to sing. It wastes your time and it annoys the pig. Now, I'm not calling addicts pigs, please understand, because I am one myself, but, you know, if somebody doesn't want help, if they're not ready to get help, whatever, they're not making that choice, then, you know, sometimes we need to back away. And I think that's a really important thing, because sometimes what loved ones do is they keep trying, they keep trying, they keep trying, they keep trying. Their life becomes about trying to help the addict, and that just doesn't work very well for anybody. So that's the first tip that I think is very important. Back off sometimes. It's really okay. Sometimes it makes a positive change to do that. So the second one would be, now I'm thinking the difference between, sorry?
I was going to say back off. What does that look like?
Well, sometimes it depends on the situation, but sometimes it looks like saying to an addict, you know what, we will not support you in any kind of way if you continue to choose to stay in active addiction. If you decide to come out of active addiction and get some help, be in some kind of recovery, we're here for you.
So isn't that enabling?
That is enabling.
Yeah.
That is enabling. But it's also it's about not trying to fix the other person. But boundaries need to be set. Boundaries need to be set. So if you've got an addict, for example, that's living in your home, rent-free, we're talking about enabling here, but living in your home, and they're up all night using their addiction or partying, whatever, they sleep all day in your home, and they're not working and they're not doing anything like that, I would not suggest that you just back off and let them do that. To me, that's not a loving act. I would suggest that you back off in terms of trying to change them, but have boundaries. Set some boundaries. Know what your boundaries are. Know how to language them. Get some help if you need that to be able to do this, and maintain those boundaries.
So what would a boundary be in that situation?
A boundary might be, from now on, we're raising the bar for you. We don't want you sleeping all day and partying all night in our home, or even out of our home, but we don't want you not contributing if you're going to be living here. So we want you up at 7:30 every morning. We want you out by 8:30. We want you in a program or in school or looking for work. That's your job, to do one of those kinds of things. And you come back at 4:30 and you tell us what you've done, if you want to live here. And if you need help with that, we'll get you help with that. But if you're going to stay in active addiction, you're not going to be here. Now, this is very scary for loved ones. If I kick him out, oh my God, he'll be in the street and, you know, he'll die out there. And what we know statistically is that when we allow addicts to languish in their addiction, the death rate is higher, and it's usually by suicide. So, you know, the best thing that a loved one can do is help instead of enable, and learn the difference, and that's the second tip.
It's a tough love.
It is tough love, but tough love is love.
Both of
And easy love, oh, you can do anything you want because I don't want to have any conflict with you, is, I think, not loving. I don't think that is love.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I think that's codependency, and that's a whole different thing.
Right, which can go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
So the second tip.
That is the second tip, learning the difference between helping and enabling, and knowing what to do. If you've been enabling, your addict is used to getting away with whatever they want to get away with. And we teach other people how to treat us. Dr. Phil said so. I'm not a great proponent of Dr. Phil, but every once in a while he says something good, and that's one of the things he says, is that we teach other people how to treat us, and we do. So if we've taught the addicts in our lives that it's okay with us, we don't challenge them, we don't raise the bar. If we've been doing that for a long time, they just, they can just do whatever they want to do. When we start to shift that, there's pushback, there's, sometimes manipulation on the part of the addict. Sometimes loved ones need some help or some support, a support group or something to be able to help them get through that. But they need to do this because, simply put, one of my favorite sayings, if nothing changes, nothing changes.
Yes, I really like that saying as well.
Yeah.
I've been influenced by emotional blackmail.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Very, very, very difficult.
Yeah, it is. It is difficult. But if you allow it to continue, it will continue.
Okay, and the third tip?
The third tip is that self-care does not equal selfish. And many, many loved ones, especially women, sometimes men, but mostly women, believe that if they start to take care of themselves, that's selfish. They put their own needs on the back burner for a really long time, and the addict becomes their life. And that's not a good thing. So in that tip, in that chapter, I talk about what we've all heard about when we're on the airplane and the masks come down. We need to put our own mask on first, because even if we have a little child who absolutely can't put their mask on, or somebody sick, or somebody elderly who can't do it, if we don't put our own mask on, try to put their mask on instead of our own, we keel over and we're no good to anybody. And it could kill us.
So what does self-care look like?
Self-care, I explain this in my book, there's this physical self-care. It's kind of like you are what you eat. You are whether you exercise or not. And these are choices that we all make. How we dress ourselves, how we take care of our hygiene, how we take care of ourselves physically. That's one part. Emotionally, are we okay? Do we need to talk to somebody? Do we need to cry sometimes? Do we need to slow down and feel our feelings? I use the acronym HALT from the 12 steps. HALT, hungry, angry, lonely, tired. Are you hungry? Do you need something for your blood sugar? Eat something. Are you angry or scared or sad, or you need to talk about something? Go do that. Are you lonely? Have you not had a date night with your partner for a really long time because you've been so focused on the addict in your life? Or have you gone to a matinee or a matti-petty with your best friend? Do those things. And tired, take a nap. If you're having trouble sleeping, let your doctor know, or your naturopath. Let's see what there is for you to help you. Nothing addictive, hopefully, but there are ways for you to get better sleep. So for me, physical is a really important one, emotional is a really important one, and mental. Are you keeping yourself sharp, especially as you grow older? Are you keeping your mind sharp? And spiritually, maybe the most important one of all, whatever that looks like to you, if it's going to church or synagogue, or if it's walking your dog along the water, whatever it is that gives you that wondrous feeling, do more of it. And if you don't know what it is, go explore, because there's a lot of different avenues that